Assalamu alaikum students. Hopefully you are fine. This is the second part of our rhythm as principle of design. This is the one of the category of variation of rhythm. How it is varied we will see in these slides. First of all, rhythm and motion. Not only non-objective shapes are capable of producing an undulating rhythm. Here we see it creating in a photograph. A rhythmic pattern can establish an emotional response in a viewer. You can see on the right side of the slide, different images are showing rhythm in motion. Rhythm in terms of repeating shapes and their arrangement. We can also talk about rhythm in terms of colors and textures. The left side of upper image, you can see here the different textures and textures of stones and grass, and on the right side textures in garden. These are also creating beautiful rhythm. In music, some rhythm are called legato or connecting and flowing. You could also use this term to talk about art. On the lower two image, you can see the motions and movement of dancing figures. They create a pleasant rhythm, and when we see, we use our senses, and we feel their enjoyment, their pleasure through our sight. Polyrhythmic structures. The overlay of perhaps several different rhythmic patterns produces a complex result, like in the upper image. Even if the parts may be simple, this is known as polyrhythmic structures. On the lower picture, you can see there are two groups and trees in the background. Uh, it is also called polyrhythmic structure. And on the upper image, you can see that different irregular shapes are creating polyrhythmic structures. Rhythm in nature. If we throw a stone on the pond water, then creates a repetition of the water wave. Now we can say that it's one kind of rhythm, that it is called the rhythm in nature. Or when there is a cascade, it also create a rhythm in nature. Or when the wind blow fast, we can see its movement in paintings. Rhythm in music. In music, its common example is clapping. When we clap, then we can feel rhythm in music. Rhythm is made up of sounds and silences. These sounds and silences are put together to form a pattern of sounds which are repeated to create a rhythm. A rhythm has a steady beat, but it may also have different kinds of beats, some high beats, some low beats. Some beats may be stronger, longer, shorter, or softer than others. In a single piece of music, a composer can use many different rhythms. Usually, you listen music and you feel its rhythm, and sometimes you enjoy, not only you enjoy by hearing, your whole body feels impacts of that rhythm. Now, what is rhythm in painting? As you see, rhythm has many meanings and interpretations, from music to the written words to art, written words like poetry, to art and architecture, to nature. Even our own bodies have rhythms. This is one example of the painting. It is a painting of Van Gogh, Italian painter, whose painting name is Starry Night. Here you can see the impasto technique and thick brush strokes creating a rhythmic flow. Rhythm in architecture. Rhythm in design is also called repetition. Rhythm allows your designs to develop an internal consistency that makes it easier for your customers to understand. Once the brain recognizes the patterns in the rhythm, it can relax and understand the whole design. Repetition rarely occurs on its own, and so it imbues a sense of order onto the design. Repetition attracts attention and prompts customers to investigate. Now we will see the concept sources of rhythm. First of all, rhythm by repetition. We can create rhythm by repetition. This repetition can be in color, pattern, or in design. Here in first picture, we are seeing a bedroom picture. Here we have an example of color repetition. You can see the shades of brown color and fawn color. In next picture of pillars, we are seeing the repetition of design of pillars on the upper half, on the lower half, and in the middle, motif designs. In next picture, we are seeing the example of repetition of patterns. In the center, you can see the example of patterns repeating. Rhythm by gradation. Gradation can be created by color and size. Here we have first example of size gradation. You can see the tables, uh, bigger one, smaller, medium, and they are decreasing sizes. Second one is example of color. You can see the blue, slowly it is decreasing its hue. Third one is also showing size gradation in pots. You can see that design and color scheme is same, but the size is decreasing. So rhythm can be created by gradation. Rhythm by transition. Rhythm through transition gently leads the eye through a continuous, uninterrupted flow from one area within a space to another. Here in the first picture, curved lines are engaging our eyes, curved line of ceiling of that waiting area. In second picture, gallery scene is also carrying our eyes towards uh, our center of interest go with perspective. Beautiful perspective is created by lines and by architecture, line work, and color gradation. So rhythm can be created by transition. Rhythm by opposition. Rhythm created direct placement of lines, shapes, or colors to create opposition through abrupt visual change. If you create abrupt visual change, you create the opposition. So rhythm can be created by putting things in opposition. Rhythm by radiation. Rhythm by radiation is the type of movement that grows out of a central point. In both pictures, we are seeing the objects have central points. You can see the lights, there is a central point, and all lights are their strands are connected with the center. So, rhythm can be created by radiation. These are the key points of rhythm. Number one is continuity, and the organized movement of recurring or developing patterns into a connected whole. It's all about the movement of your eyes on an object or around a room. All three create rhythm. Hopefully, you will understand And you have you enjoyed or not? Tell me please. And if you have any questions, so you can ask. Thank you for listening. Allah Hafiz.